Hi, I'm Haley J. Madison.
And I'm Allison Egan, and we're from Her Name Was Torment 2. And you're watching Mr. Tony of the Dead.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Mr. Tony of the Dead here, and I have another Blu-ray Reviews video for everyone out there. And the first thing I'm going to show you is actually a couple DVDs. So I probably should say Blu-ray DVD reviews, but I just say Blu-rays for the hell of it. Also, let me know if you think this is a good idea. I'm thinking about taking, like, obviously these videos are very long. If you don't want to, or you have the attention span of a gnat, if you can't watch an hour-long video, I understand. I might still split them up eventually into like single videos down the line, you know, in case you're like, oh, I didn't see that review. So let me know if you think that's a good idea. But I'm probably going to do it anyway, but let me know what you think. But the first thing I'm going to show you here is from Mill Creek Entertainment, and these are a couple of movie packs. And the first one here is Savage Nature, 4 Deadly Films. Okay, now Mill Creek puts out a lot of these, you know, packs like this, and I like that, you know. And these also are digital as well. You can watch it on Movie Spree, which is free to sign up. I signed up for it, and you use the digital code, you put it on there, and it's there all the time, you know. And you know, I guess the rights are always going to be there, you know. You never know what nowadays, but so far they're there. And you know, you just put it on there, the whole pack goes on there, you can watch it, like the one with the shark one that I even put up. I put my digital code on there, and they're all there for me to watch. You know, all the Andy Sedaris movies are on there and shit like that. And you can watch other things too that they give you free things to watch, stuff like that. So, you know, if you're not into physical media, I'm sorry, but if you're not, and you're into the digital, you know, if you get this, you can watch them on there, or you don't have to get this, you can buy it on there. But if you're into the physical and you like these movie packs, like I said, this one here is Savage Nature, 4 Deadly Films, and on here are Flu Birds, Monster Wolf, Wolf's Bane, and Headless Horseman. So you got some doozies to choose from. So that's the first one here, Savage Nature. And the other one here you have is Houses of Hell. 4 movies on here. And the movies on here are American Horror House, The Dunwich Horror, House of Bones, and Mask Maker. So, you know, that's pretty cool. I for years, I've always loved movie packs because, you know, it might be costly to get all these, or maybe they're out of print, or, you know, maybe you just don't know about the movies, so you're not sure, but maybe there's a few other ones on here that you want to get. You know, then you discover another one. You know, there's possibilities. So these things are cool, you know, to have. And I'm just going to show you this one, but they both kind of just look like this, a blank disc, or black disc, I should say. There's something on it. And, you know, the movies are on there, 2 on each of those, as well as the other ones. So, yeah, these are the 2 variety packs. Pretty cool. Good thing to pick up around, you know, Halloween. I've already started watching my Halloween stuff, and you can watch these anytime, but, you know, still cool things to pick up for around Halloween, and, you know, they're cheap. So that's from Mill Creek Entertainment. That's Houses of Hell and Savage Nature. Next up here I have from Arrow Video USA, and that is The Hills Have Eyes 2. This is directed by Wes Craven, and this came out in 1984. And basically what this is, it's the sequel to The Hills Have Eyes, and the survivor from the first one, again, this might be a spoiler if you haven't seen the first one, which I recommend that you do. The first one's amazing. But the survivor of the first one, he's kind of like in charge of this, you know, he makes this fuel for like these, you know, bikes and that, like these, you know, racing and that. So, but he, you know, kind of has this panic attacks and that, especially where they're going to be doing this, these tests and that, and try to promote his product. It's not far from where the first movie took place, so he's kind of like freaking out, and he decides he you know, he can't do it. So they're going to take his stuff and promote it and everything, get money for it, and hopefully become rich. And what happens along the way, like they kind of think the story isn't real, and they kind of think it's fake. So then they decide they're going to take this road off, you know, the side, you know, and you know, that's sort of on the map, and you know, they run into the same trouble as the first one. And so that's kind of what this is about. I'm going to try not to spoil stuff, but like I said, the two survivors that are in the first one are in this, and it's a different bunch of characters. There's one girl who is blind, and she's like a fucking superhero. She can hear amazingly. Like somebody's at the van, somebody's doing this. I can hear this. Like somebody else is here. It's just like it's a little bit too much. Like, okay, I get you. You know, your sense is probably enhanced, but my God, they weren't even close to it wasn't a van. It was like a bus. They weren't even close to the bus, and she could hear somebody was in it. I actually liked her character, to be honest. Like, it was different. And the characters are the typical kind of like, you know, they weren't teens, but they were like probably early 20s, and they were likable. You know, jerk, kind of like don't want to listen to anybody kind of people. And I guess that, you know, the movie was, I don't know, it's kind of like, it's bad. If you're going to compare it to the first one, it's bad. Even the directors and the producers and all that talking about this, they are not like happy about this movie. You know, they don't like to talk about it, and they're not, you know, they don't like it. They don't like how it turned out and weird shit. There's even a flashback that the dog has to the first one. Like, he flashes back to what happens to his brother, the other dog in the first one, and then what happens with him at the end of the movie. It flashes back to that, like, and it's just the kind of strangest movie. The setting's pretty cool, you know, it's the desert again, but now they're like these guys on these like dirt bike kind of things and motocross bikes or whatever, and they're chasing like not Papa Jupiter, but they're chasing Saturn or whatever his name is, Mars and Saturn, and oh, it's just like, it's crazy. They're not as scary as in the first one. The movie's definitely not as good as the first one. Like, and this is the first time I ever saw this too. I always wanted to, and I never did, and now I did. It was kind of like, wow, you know. And I was excited when I saw that they had the same guy from the first movie in this, but he didn't do anything else. He just kind of was just like, oh, that's it. But they do have Ruby from the first movie in this now, and it's like 8-9 years later, something like that. So she's modernized, and you know, it's cool to see what happened to her. Pluto was Michael Berryman. That's who it was. And then they're kind of like being run by, like, the first one was Papa Jupiter, and in this one now is the Reaper, his name is. And I'll tell you what, I saw the remake of this before I saw this one, and I think I remember liking the remake more. Well, I should say I like the remake more, to be honest. Like, I remember thinking the remake wasn't too bad, like, for a movie, because I never saw this. But now comparing them, I think I like the first one, the remake, better. I don't know. It's not that it's good. It's just better than this. But I don't know. It's a very cool addition, though. You know, it's almost exactly like the first, The Hills Have Eyes, the box. It's the same color scheme, same artist, everything. There's like the booklet and the poster and everything, which I'll show you. But everything's pretty much just like the first one, and it's cool that they did that. I'm glad they kept with the same color scheme, but maybe it could have been cool another way. Who knows? But what they did looks cool. So now I'm gonna show you the inside, and here you have the front cover here. It's not bad, you know. It's pretty cool. I wish they would have had the Reaper in it more, though. He was like the only kind of scary, menacing one, but like they didn't really do much like with him. And I don't know who did the artwork. Doesn't tell me, but it does have like this. Like I kept it on here for this. I'll probably honestly get rid of this, but it has like the flap, and then on the back it tells you, it has all the stuff on here. But you could take it off, and then that's the back image on the back. And there are the special features. If you want to pause it now and check them out, you can. And here's the Blu-ray, and it is region A. And here you have the sleeve. It is reversible. Here's the other side, and this is like the original artwork that's on like the VHS. And then of course you have on this side the newer artwork here. And to be honest, I'm probably going to reverse it to this because, you know, this one is on the box and everything. But I kind of like both. This is more Mad Max looking to me, which is kind of like, in a way, what the original one was supposed to be, in a way, like, and not post-apocalyptic, but just like fucking freaky and like, you know, backwoods, like the dressing, like, definitely wasn't. They definitely inspired. I should say they inspired Mad Max. That's what I should have said. But yeah, I definitely think I'm gonna reverse it to this. I almost like this artwork more. It's a very weird color scheme, but I definitely like it. Which one do you like? You also get 6 postcards here, you know, on the inside. Pretty cool. That one, I don't even know what language that is, but there's one there. I'm doing this backwards. But yeah, you get 6 postcards inside here. And, you know, that's pretty cool. You also get this booklet, and there's the cover to it when they're on like the motocross bikes or whatever they are. Pretty thick booklet, to be honest. And inside, you got some, you know, cast and crew. I haven't done this in a while. All this kind of stuff. You know, stories and stuff like that. Pictures, images, all that. About the transfer. And then the back is just that. You also get this folded poster inside, and there's this cover, you know, with the new artwork, and then you can reverse it to this side, which is the old artwork, which is very cool. I'm glad they, you know, they reverse it like that. I'm glad you're allowed to put whatever side you want on. So yeah, The Hills Have Eyes 2, not really a great movie. Very cool addition though. If you do like the movie, you know, definitely get this one. And the first box set's very cool. It's almost identical. Very cool. And the interviews on here are really, really interesting as well. You know, a lot of good special features on here. So I don't know what it's upgraded from because I never had another edition of this. So I don't know what it's upgraded from, but it's very cool. One thing I will say though, I don't care about postcards. I don't know what to do with them. They just sit in there. I'm not going to send them off to anybody. They're cool to look at like once, and then I just put them right back in the case. So I think postcards are kind of like a waste of time. But and I think posters are cool. It's just I have so many and not enough wall space for them. But you know, at least it's something. You know, and this is a really, really cool edition. They really did a great job. So yeah, I would definitely say check it out. The picture looked good, and the captions were good. I watched it with captions. And it's not a great movie, but it's watchable. But don't go into this thinking it's going to be as good as the first one, because it's not. And it's a very kind of strange movie. But yeah, so that's it. That's The Hills Have Eyes Part 2. Next up, I have another one here from Arrow Video USA. It's directed by Edwin Scott Brown, and that is The Prey, filmed in 1979 to 1980, but it wasn't distributed till 1984. And what this is about, it's about these 3 couples who are going to go and hike in the woods just for a getaway, you know, a little bit of drinking and having fun and romance, kind of stuff like that. And what they don't realize is out in the woods is this man who was horribly burned as a child, and he's been living out in the woods all these years, so he's kind of like, you know, out of his mind and, you know, I guess feral in a way, and he's just, you know, sees people and sees fires and that, and like it's like whenever you see him like looking at them on camera, like on the screen, it's his heartbeat. You hear the heartbeat and it gets quicker and quicker and quicker, and he just like has to eradicate whatever is making this. Basically anybody who's around kind of kills, you know, whoever's around he just takes out, because it's his forest and he doesn't want anybody there because, you know, well, he doesn't say it, but basically you could tell he doesn't want another fire to happen. He doesn't want to get burnt again. This is the limited edition 2-disc, and disc 1 is the U.S. theatrical, and disc 2 is the international cut. I'm going to be honest, I only watched the first disc, and so that's what my review is based off of. It was kind of hard to want to watch. I didn't want to watch the second one. Not that the movie was bad. It's just it's kind of a slow burn, and it's not that good. But watching the behind the scenes and stuff like that, thinking about it afterwards. I've seen worse movies, and it's a good idea. It sounded good. There was some kills in it. The kills were pretty brutal, so that was pretty cool. But I just the heartbeat I think got on my nerves a little bit because it was like a lot. The cast of characters were actually very, very likable. I liked pretty much every single one of them. And it's hard to believe that this is 40 years old. It's hard to believe anything is that old. Like to me, the year 2000 wasn't that long ago. So it's like, oh, the 80s movies were 1980 was 20 years ago, so it's not that bad. But it's 40 years ago. I was born in 1980, so next year in February I'll be 40 years old. This was made in 1979, started in 79. So it's just crazy to think how long ago this was, but it's still very cool practical effects. I really like that. But like there was the slow burn. There was a lot of dialogue that I don't think you needed. Like them sitting around a campfire and they just were talking, but there was random conversations, and you hear oh yeah, well they do it, and then you'd pan in and hear this other one, but you could still hear the other ones, and it just went on for too long, and it was oh my god, what is the point? What is the point to this? What is this bringing to the story? But then the whole ending was pretty cool. There's this cop who's kind of this. He's in a way he's a hippie. He is just oh, I don't need the gun. I don't know. I think he'd try to just talk somebody out of shooting him before he would try to shoot anybody. But he's a hell of a good banjo player. But he was kind of a likable guy. But I don't know. The whole time I just thought there was something else up with him. There wasn't. But I didn't trust him. I don't know why. I just didn't trust him. But he ended up being likable, but then his sheriff, his boss, I guess, was actually kind of funny at first too. And I don't think it was supposed to be a funny part of the movie, but it was him talking to him, and he's eating a sandwich, and he's why don't you try it? And then he tries it, and he loves it, and then he's are you gonna eat that half? And you have to see the part to know what I'm talking about. But it was just a very strange part, but it was funny. And it made me like the sheriff, because at first it was the phone's ringing, and it was ringing, and it was ringing, and he's going so slow to it. And I'm answer the fucking phone. It was getting on my nerves. But then he ended up with that whole sandwich scene. It ended up making me like him. I was I like this guy. He's interesting. But yeah, it was a very strange kind of movie. Cool setting, obviously, in the woods, and there were some kills, like I said, were very brutal. Especially there's this rope one where the person gets caught in it and slammed into the tree, and it made me go, oh, like that, because it was bam, they're done. It was holy shit. But yeah, it was it's not that great a movie, but it's a good cheese, I guess. One of those. I don't know how much I'd watch it again, to be honest. Maybe, I like to say this, if somebody put it on, I would sit and watch it, but I don't feel the urge to, what should I watch? Oh, The Prey. Probably wouldn't put it on again for a while. But, I'm glad I got to see it. I always wanted to, and, I was excited when I saw it was coming out. I was oh, and I didn't know what it was about. I read it, that sounds cool. Very cool. Cover art, which I'll show you and everything. And then it's the cover art is way better than the movie. But I don't know. But it's kind of a cult classic now too. And this thing is limited to 3,000 copies. So there's the other cut that I didn't watch. So maybe I would like the other one better. I didn't watch it. I'm sorry, but the video, the image looked good. The movie looked good, and it sounded good, and the captions were fine. And I say that in every video because I feel that's very important. Everything sounded good. But with all that being said, let me show you what's inside this. And here you have this artwork here, and I believe this one and the other artwork is from Justin Osborne. I believe he did both, but there's that one, which, I don't know, it really it's good, but it's not even really in the movie. But then you get this artwork here, and I'll take it out and show you a little better. And then you have this artwork here, which is awesome. I love that artwork. It's so cool. That would make me want to rent it, definitely. Really, really cool. But the cool thing with this is, too, there's another artwork here that you can reverse. So you have the slip cover, and then you have the sleeve with two different artworks on it. So it's whatever one you want. You got two choices here, and of course the slip you can't change, but that's very cool. The winner for me is definitely this one. I love it. I love how the killer looks menacing. You know, after the girl. Very, very cool. Way better than this. You know, but that's just my opinion. Going back to the slipcover, I didn't say this is actually embossed. It's very, very cool. Very, very cool embossed. Nothing else is on here is embossed. Just that, and then. Of course, it's just the word "the prey." The words "the prey," and then on the back, this is a little bit embossed. It's not really. It's more glossy. It's a little bit raised, but not much, and none of the other green. It's just the words "the prey." That's it. So that's cool. And here are all the special contents and special features in that. If you want to pause it now and check them out, you can. On the inside here, you have the first Blu-ray here with the new artwork on here, which is really cool. And then you flip it over, and there's the other. Oh, over here you have the other Blu-ray, and they are region A, B, and C. One cool little thing that they put in here that I've never really seen them do before is this permit to go up into the woods and camp for the day. And it's welcome to North Point Keen Wild. This is a self-issue permit good for one day use only in the Keen Wilderness. And it's a permit to fill out, number of pack and saddle stock, like horses and mules, and how many vehicles, emergency phone number, and then, up to a group of 15 people. And on the inside, it's these regulations, what you will do and won't do. And then down here, it shows you, like, the fire that happened, like, we'll never forget kind of thing. Very cool that they put this in here. Then you're supposed to slip this in the box for them, and then that this is what they go by, and it's kind of like, okay, now you're good, you can go camping. But that's really cool that they put this in here. I never actually seen them do anything like that, so I really like that. I'd like to see more of these kind of things, in the editions that Arrow puts out. You also get this little booklet, and like all booklets, you got the contents, pictures and stuff like that about the transfer, special thanks, production credits, and there's the back. One really, really weird thing with this movie is that they show animals in it constantly. Like, I guess it's supposed to be what animals are doing out in the woods while these couples are out there doing stuff. Like, if the couples are eating, it's showing animals like ants or like owls and stuff like that. It shows them eating, like attacking prey or whatever, and they're eating. And it just happened so much that it kind of threw me off. Like, I was like, why does it keep doing this? At first I thought, this is doing it a lot. And then it just, like, it kept doing it. It was like throughout almost the whole movie. And it just kind of was like, all right, that's a little unnecessary. I don't need to see animals every, like, 5 seconds. But that was really strange. But you know what? Talking about this and thinking about it and everything that went into this makes me want to give this another shot. Maybe it's not like I didn't pay attention to it. I watched it in one sitting, and at the end of it, I'm like, I don't know, it's kind of dull. But maybe I'll give the international cut a try and see if my opinion changes, and I'll go from there. But other than that, though, this is a very, very beautiful edition. Again, I wish Arrow would put more editions out with the slipcovers. I feel like when they do, they put more love into it. That's just me. I just feel like all the ones that have these have so much more love put into them. I'm looking up at my ones now, and it just seems like they're better editions. Not always, but it's just so much. It's so much cooler. And then you got the embossed. I'm a sucker for embossed and glow in the dark, stuff like that. So that would be cool if this glowed in the dark too. That would be neat. But it doesn't. But yeah. So with all that being said, I guess give it a shot. You know, it's worth watching. I mean, it's 40 years old. You might as well watch it. Why not? So that's The Prey. Next up I have here from Arrow Video USA is Crimson Peak, and this is directed by Guillermo del Toro. I'm hoping I say that right. Sounded right. But yeah, this is about this girl named Edith who is kind of haunted by the death of her mother, and she like kind of puts it into her writing. She wants to be a writer, but because of the time, it's like the 1800s in New York, you know, she's a woman, so they kind of look down at that and all that kind of stuff. So she, you know, like she's being haunted by the death of her mother and all that kind of stuff. And then she meets this gentleman who's played by Tom Hiddleston. Is that how you say it? Yeah, Hiddleston. And he's going to take her away to his place, and there's other ghosts there as well that she encounters, and there's a dark past to this place that she's going to, you know, uncover from everything. And so that's what this is pretty much about. And this came out in 2017, and I haven't seen it until now, the first time watch, and it kind of tells you what this movie is about in the very beginning without you actually having to see the movie right away, because she says like about her story that she's writing is everybody says it's a ghost story, and she's like, well, it's more of a love story with ghosts in it. And that's kind of what this is. It's kind of a love story with ghosts in it, and I would have loved there to be more ghosts. You know, I thought this was going to be a super scary movie. The ghosts at first, the way they come around the corner and stuff like that, it gets kind of freaky, but it's like when you die, the way you look afterwards, it's like things are floating. It's kind of neat. But like if you get, however you die, like you get shot or stabbed or whatever, those like trickles of blood are just constantly like flowing like this. It's kind of cool, but yet it's kind of like, wow, you look really bad as a ghost, you know. But your ghostly shrouds are all over the place, and you're pretty fucking scary. Even she said the first ghost she ever saw was her mother. And when you see her mom, it's fucking scary. Like, she's very, very scary looking. Like, she didn't really come to her like, oh, it's okay, you know, I'm your mom. She didn't look anything like a person. Like, kind of almost like one of those sugar skulls in the face a little bit. So, but like, you know, not so bright and creative, and you know, diamonds and all that kind of, you know, painting and all that. But like, kind of remind you of that. But she was probably the scariest looking ghost in the movie. But it just, you know, goes from there. But like, it's a very decent story. I'm okay that it's not a ghost, like a movie about ghosts, but I would have liked to see a little more ghosts to it. But the story is pretty cool because you don't know, you know, the whole background to everything going on to where she's going to this. It's called Allerdale Hall, and it's in England. And you know, like, Tom Hiddleston is like trying to get money for this machine he's creating to get clay up. I believe it was clay up from the ground, up the earth, from the earth. And you know, that's so she has money and she's helping him out with it. And he also has this, Tom Hiddleston has his sister in it, Lucille, who's like very, very kind of evil and kind of jealous, and you know, very untrusting, and you don't know what to say to her, but she might flip. She's very hot and cold throughout the whole movie. She's mostly very cold, but yeah, she's really kind of a scary person. But the movie wasn't bad. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it looked really good, sounded good. Again, I never saw it before, and I know this is like just like the single disc edition. I know there's like a bigger edition for Arrow, but this is like just a single edition for it. But it's pretty cool. I liked it. I enjoyed the movie. I'd probably watch it again. I like to go back and see things that I missed maybe. To be honest, it's pretty straightforward. Probably didn't really miss anything, but yeah, not a bad movie. I enjoyed it, and I guess maybe some people would be disappointed about the ghost. It's more of a gothic love story, kind of like the castle, like this Allerdale Hall. It's like falling apart pretty much and sinking into the earth, and they're still living there. And there's like, in the hole, there's a hole in the ceiling, and like leaves are coming down, and like it turns into winter, and the snow's coming in. It's very strange. I just think like, man, it must be really cold, but it's like a huge building. But yeah, it's very visually, it's very amazing. Mia Wasikowska, I guess how you say it. She played Edith in this, and her last name was Cushing. And I didn't look at the special features about it in that. There are special features in that, but I wonder if that's like a shout out to Peter Cushing, because it has to be that. But she's Edith Cushing, and she did a really good part. Like she's a very likable person. Excellent actress. Of course, Tom Hiddleston, everybody knows from the Avengers. And then Lucille is Jessica Chastain or something like that, from Zero Dark 30. I've never seen Zero Dark 30, but she's one of those, like, I know I've seen her in something before, and then I looked her up, and I haven't seen anything she's in. At least I don't think I did, but she still looks very familiar. So did Edith, Mia, and of course Tom Hiddleston. Again, the Avengers. Everybody mostly knows him from that, but I'm sure everybody knows him from that, to be honest. But yeah. I would definitely say check this out. I liked it. It's pretty cool, especially for the vision. The look of it alone, very cool. But now I'll show you what's in here. And here you have artwork that is by Guy Davis. I believe he did both of these. There's this one, and then there's this one on the reverse side, which I'll be honest, I love this one. I like this one so much more than the other side. The other side's cool because it kind of like captures like how the house is. The house is very, looks like if you bump the wall you'd kill yourself. It's very spiky and this dangerous looking. But this picture is awesome. I love this picture. It looks like it should be on like a romance novel or like some kind of horror novel or something like that. But it's very cool. Definitely like this side better. And then you have the Blu-ray here, and it is Region A. And there are the special edition contents. Like I said, there is a lot. If you want to pause it now and check them out, you can. So that's it, Crimson Peak. I'd say check it out. It's worth a watch. I enjoyed it, and it's something different. So yeah, that's Crimson Peak. And next up I have from Arrow Video USA is Killer Nun, and this is directed by Giulio Berruti. I cannot pronounce these names, but what this is about, it's about this nun, and she has this like cancer on her brain or something, and she goes under this like brain surgery. She gets it done, and it's a success. She comes out of it alive and everything's fine. And after a while, she starts acting very strangely. She's a woman of the cloth, very strict, and then she starts like changing here and there. She wants people dead. And she starts like taking drugs, and then she like at one point in time she gets off a train and switches clothes into like civilian clothes, and then like goes to the bar and like picks up a guy and then just has sex with him, just all this weird shit out of the ordinary. And then people start dying in the place where she works, in the hospital, and she's just doing like very sadistic things, and people don't trust her anymore, and all this kind of stuff. So she's turning like very strange, and she doesn't understand. She'll go into like she'll black out. She doesn't understand what happened. She doesn't know. So it's like a roller coaster ride from there. And she has this one nun who actually has kind of feelings for her, and she is kind of covering for her. Getting rid of evidence, stuff like that. So she's helping her out, and people think it's her, but they don't have proof it's her. And it just goes from there, like like how it's going to uncover it toward the end. And I gotta say, this was a pretty decent movie. I liked it a lot, especially the reveal at the end. I kind of figured that was how it was going to end, but it was pretty neat. I did enjoy it. Very cool. And the nun who plays, she was Sister Gertrude. It's Anita Ekberg, and unfortunately she's passed away now. But man, what a good-looking nun! She's gorgeous. Even the one that she was lived with, that was her roommate. She was gorgeous as well. There was even a guy that was in the hospital that said to her, you got something like you're too good looking to be a nun, and the body on you, you shouldn't be a nun and all that, and you can see she is very good looking, and then like of course she gets naked, and he was right. Like she's fantastic looking, and but yeah, like it's just Anita Ekberg, like she did a great job in this. Like she looks like she's lost. She looks like she doesn't know what happened, why it's going on, and all that stuff. It's just crazy how everything pans out. And yeah, I never heard of this before, but it's very cool. I really enjoyed this movie. Definitely a cool one. There is a English version, and I think it said Italian version on here. And I only watched the English version, so I didn't watch it with I watched it with captions. I always watch everything with captions, but it did it with the English voice because I didn't feel like reading everything. Even though I put the captions on, but I didn't feel like reading the forced captions, you know. But there was a point in time in the movie that was, I thought I hit the button or something. The whole time they're talking English, and then at one point in time in the movie they're talking Italian, but there's no words popping up. And I thought, well, what the hell? I think maybe it's something with my edition, or maybe that's just some kind of a flaw in this edition, or maybe it's an extra added in part that they didn't do the captions for. I have no idea, but it just caught me off guard. But it's only like less than a minute long, and you kind of get the gist of what they're talking about, so it really didn't bother me. Like, it didn't ruin anything for me. I just thought that was weird that happened here. I thought I bumped the button, but I didn't. So I don't know, but yeah, the movie looked good, and it sounded good. It's very perverted at times, especially there's like this old man in a wheelchair, and he wants this, he's having this girl like show him her boobs, and then she goes down on him, and it's just very creepy looking, and then he says something like, come on, sit on it, ride it like a jockey. And so she's like fucking him in this wheelchair, and it's just like the nun's like, what? Like watch it, like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening, and they don't see her. That's what gets me in these movies. They don't notice this person's watching them. But it was like an insane part, like out of nowhere. It's like, wow, this old man is lucky, you know. So, but I don't know how old she was. She was probably like in her 20s, something like that. And he's like 70 years old or whatever. But it just looks strange. You know, love is love, I guess. But I don't know, but good for him, I guess. So yeah, Killer Nun. I like this movie. Definitely say check this one out. But I'll show you what's inside here. And there's the newly commissioned artwork by Daryl Joyce, and I do like this artwork a lot. I like it better than this one. I don't know how you say that. Soir Emicidi? I don't even know. I'm horrible pronouncing this shit. I can't even say the word pronunciation half the time. But yeah, I like that. I don't really like that one, I should say. I like this one more. The one problem I have with this whole edition is it's too fucking red. There's so much red in this, and there's like a little white. That's it. And I wish there was something else they could have done. And here you have a booklet and a Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray is Region A. And like I said, here's the booklet. I gotta be careful, you know, going through here, but it has the usual stuff, the contents, you know, cast and crew, about the transfer. There's the old man getting, you know, lucky, and you know, other stories and stuff in here, and there is the back. So yeah, pretty cool. Always cool to see a killer nun kind of movie, you know, because they're supposed to be so good and wholesome and so close to God, and then, you know, they turn, and it's just like they go down this road. Everybody trusts them because it's a nun, and then they just, you know, it's too late before they realize what's going on. But Killer Nun, yeah, definitely a pretty cool movie. Glad I got to see it. And it was from 1978, I believe 78, 79. But yeah, very cool. I would say check this one out, Killer Nun. It looked good, sounded good, and, you know, only issue was, like I said, that one part with the captions. It went to Italian. The voice went to Italian. I don't know, it's weird. But nothing to be upset about. But yeah, that's Killer Nun. Next up I have here from Dustin Mills production, directed by Dustin Mills, is Slaughterhouse Slumber Party. And what this is about this group of girls who have this annual slumber party, and they have this like annual pillow fight kind of thing that they have going, and they just like get together, drink, have fun, hang out, you know, stuff like that. And one of the girls invites this other girl she felt sorry for, and the girl that she invited is very strange, and you can tell something's very off with her. And what happens is, during this pillow fight, one of the girls ends up getting killed from getting hit with the pillow. So that girl ends up getting erected back up, you know, from the dead, and now she's like this shape-shifting kind of spirit, and she's like doing weird things to them and taking them out basically one by one. I'm going to say right off the bat, before I say what I think and everything, I did contribute to this. My name is in the which is awesome. Dustin put it in the beginning and at the end. Usually it's just in the end credits, but it's in the beginning and the end of all the people that helped him make this. So that's really cool that he did that. I think more directors should do that. But it was cool that he did that. But I gotta be honest, and this isn't just because I contributed. That's why I wanted to say that. I think this is my favorite movie that Dustin has ever put out. I thought this was so much fun, and not just because there's, and I don't even know the word for it, a ton of nudity. It doesn't even cover it. There's like nudity throughout the whole friggin' movie, pretty much, like full frontal everything. It's not even that it made me really like this movie. Like it was fun, and it was funny. The effects were really cool. There were some like obvious cheesy effects as well, like computer animated, like the CGI, maybe ghosts here and there. But like it didn't bother me. Usually that kind of shit would bother me. Like I was like, oh, that looks so shitty. But they kind of poke fun at them, kind of poke fun at it in the movie, talking about other movies that do that. So it's kind of funny. And there's even like the way, I don't know why they're doing it, but they talk to the camera and like in like separate interviews throughout the movie, kind of like in The Office, which The Office is my all-time favorite show. So the fact that there was like an Office type of thing in this movie, that won me over too. All the girls were very likable. They all had a different personality. They were all fun. The one that was the most fun was Haley J. Madison's character. She likes to fart on people, and she had like the things she said. Like she legitimately made me laugh, and it was very funny. I gotta say, this has a lot of rewatchability. I enjoyed it. The sound, the song, the Slaughterhouse Slumber Party. I was fucking that up so many times. Slaughterhouse Slumber Party. I hope I said that right in the beginning. But anyway, the Slaughterhouse Slumber Party has a theme song in the beginning, and it's like metalish. It's very cool, and then the intro is very cool as well. It's like animated, and it's very cool. The gore on here and that was done by Marcus Koch. I don't know how you say the name. Sorry, but I got to meet him before. And he's a very cool guy, and he did such an excellent job. In fact, he's in the movie as well. The movie has a lot of characters, like, if I say any of the names wrong, it's Erin R. Ryan, Haley J. Madison, Kayla Elizabeth, Ania, Lupa, Melissa Zays. God, I'm sorry. I'm going to do this. I didn't even try to do this before. Ronnie Jonah, Alice Winkler, Regan Wright, Eve Moreau, Ariel Jarcho, and Lucian Klein. I don't know. But it's pretty cool. It's a very, very cool movie. I enjoyed it. Erin O'Ryan's character, she is like this like reviewer, like a YouTube reviewer. And she's all into this, can't think of the name, it's like Von Ribcage something Von Ribcage. And she like rips her clothes off and fights these monsters and that. And the girl, she was originally in the original trailer for this during a pillow fight, and then she's not in this movie, but she is in the movie, but she's like another character, like in a movie. And the funny thing is though, they were talking about how like, well, I guess I appreciate the people behind it because I see how much heart goes into it, and blah 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 blah, and and I'm thinking, my God, I've said that so many times where I didn't care for a movie, but then watching the special features, I could see how much heart went into it, so it made me like it more and appreciate it more, and I respect them. And I'm thinking to myself, did he watch a review of mine? Because I've said that many times, but I gotta honestly, and again, I'm saying, can't stress this enough. It's not because I contributed to this, because I've contributed to movies before where I thought the movie was just okay. I thought this movie was really really good. I had so much fun watching this movie, and yeah, there's like an obscene amount. Is that the word? There's a lot of nudity, but it doesn't matter. It was just so much fun. The girls were having fun. Even the girl who was supposed to be the dark and evil one in this, during the pillow fight, you could see that she could not help but smile and kind of laugh. Like she was trying not to, but she was laughing at it. And it just goes to show that they were having a good time during this. Erin was going kind of crazy on the bed, hitting people, and Haley J. Madison just she just like was going crazy. But yeah, it was such a fun movie, and it looked good and it sounded really good too, and very very cool. I'm just very very happy with this, and I highly recommend this movie. Definitely check this one out. It's fun. It's a fun stupid time, and I mean that in a good way. Again, I've seen a bunch of Dustin Mills movies, and I just think this one is, I think it's his best one. Easter Casket is cool. There's other ones that are darker, that go to a totally different way, but this one to me was right up my alley, and I loved it. I thought it was great. So yeah, definitely if you can see this movie, check it out. Oh my God, I was gonna say it right. Slaughterhouse Slumber Party. So if you can, if you get a chance to, if there's some way you can see this, definitely check this movie out. Like I said, I highly recommend it. So that's Slaughterhouse Slumber Party. Next up I have here from Epic Pictures and Dread Central Presents is Candy Corn, and this is number 20 if you're following the series of these. This is number 20, and this is directed by Josh Hasty, not sure how you say it, but that's how it is. And what this is about, it takes place on Halloween, and there's a bunch of, like, a group of friends that get together, and apparently every year they pick on this guy who's not like all there, and they're pretty cruel, so they go there and they want to pull a prank on him and whatever. So they go and he's working for this like carnival kind of place, this traveling carnival, and the kid this year, he's not going to take their crap, so they start being all jerking to him, and then he starts shoving them, and then they just start beating the shit out of them, and then they accidentally kill him. And then what happens is the main guy, the ringmaster, who's played by Poncho Moller. I believe everybody probably knows him from 31, Rob Zombie's 31. I believe he was in that, yeah. But he was like the ringmaster, and he does this like spell on him and brings him back to life and puts this like mask on him. And basically, he goes out and he's gonna kill the people that killed him, and he's gonna take revenge on it. And everybody for a while, when this movie, I've heard about it for a while, waiting for it to come out. It takes place on Halloween, which, except for the decorations in the background, you probably wouldn't even realize it was Halloween. And there's some trick-or-treaters, but every scene had like really cool decorations. But other than that, you wouldn't really know it was Halloween. But yeah, everybody was waiting for this to come out, really excited. I wanted to see it. I wasn't like, I didn't have a huge heart on like everybody else did for this. People were buying like the masks and the shirts and everything before they even saw the movie. And I just thought, well, why would you do that? Why would you do that? And an example, I'm not going to say who it was, but I know one person was like way on board for this. They couldn't wait, and then they were like really disappointed with the movie, and I was shocked at that. And so I wasn't like excited for this. I wanted to see it, but when it came out, I was like, oh, now I want to see it. And I saw it, and I thought it was okay. I think there are things that it could have been better. Like, I wish the kills were a little more eccentric. The blood was CGI'd. You could tell it was like when it was spurred out, it was CGI'd. There was one part where somebody gets their inside pulled out, and it was very fake looking. But I don't know. I just wish the kills were a little more over the top. The best one was at the end, and I'm not gonna say who or what happened, but that was probably the best kill of the whole movie. Probably my favorite character in it was Poncho. He was really good, but also Courtney Gaines is in this. He plays the sheriff, and then PJ Souls is in this. She's like the secretary at the police station, and also in this is Tony Todd. He plays like a character in the sideshow, like in the circus or carnival or whatever. And he didn't have a big part. He didn't really talk much or anything. It was cool. I wanted to see Tony Todd in it, and he didn't really do much. And also there's like this whole thing where you're one of us now, how everybody in the circus or whatever, they stick together. And they weren't so as sadistic as I would have liked. Everybody's kind of like more or less afraid of this Poncho guy, or of Poncho's character. And they didn't want to cross him or anything, but yet he was on their side. And I just wish I would have seen more sadistic stuff from them protecting their own, and stuff like that. Courtney Gaines, I don't know, like they did a good job in it, but there were scenes that like went on for so long that they could have cut out more of, just too much dialogue in it. And like the cops were incredibly stupid in this movie. Like they were just really, really dumb. Like they were just incredibly stupid cops. And then they put the mask on him, and he goes around killing people, but he's in his like regular clothes and that. I don't understand the mask's reasoning for it. It was just on him. I don't know. I think it would have been cool if he like kind of transformed a little more into something more. Maybe his hands were all fucked up and claws or something. But he's just this like same guy, walking around. But I don't know. I mean, I thought visually it looked cool. I didn't really get the feeling it was Halloween, like I said, but it kind of had this, like, it looked like it was cold there. It looked like it was like around the fall time. So I guess maybe it was around Halloween, but I don't know. The kids, the group of kids, they look like they're in their 20s, like late 20s. They don't look like kids. And there's one person in the group, this girl who had like nothing to do with it. But she didn't stop it either. She was like kind of like on the side, watching everything go down. But all in all, I mean, the movie was okay. I probably honestly wouldn't watch it again. But I do like Josh's vision, and I would like to see more from him. But Candy Corn, I'm glad I didn't get my hopes up for this, because it would have been shot down like the person I was talking about earlier. But I guess because I didn't have, not that I didn't have high hopes for it, but like that because I didn't have like such a hard on for it, and I couldn't wait for it. I guess maybe that's why I'm taking this the way I am. But yeah, it is what it is, and that's it. But there is some special features on here. There's a making of Candy Corn, and that's like almost 2 hours. It's like an hour and 50-some minutes long. The crowdfunding scene in director's chair with Josh and director's commentary. So you get some special features on here, and you do have the disc, and it is region free. And the disc is pretty cool looking. It looks like that, and you can reverse it, but I think it looks just like that. It's like the same background. I don't understand the reversing. It looks exactly the same. Like there's no different to it. I don't know. There's nothing different to it. But yeah, it's cool to see, and I always like another movie that comes out on Halloween, even though it didn't really feel like it. But like I said, I'm looking forward to Josh's next movie, so hopefully that one will be better. And but yeah, I'd say if you want to check this one out, it's up to you. For me, probably wouldn't watch it again. So that's that. But captions were good, picture was good, and sounded good. So there's that. So that's Candy Corn. Next up I have here from Mena Films is Malevolence, and this is directed by Stephen Mena. And what this is about, it's about this killer who kidnaps people, and you go back in the past, 10 years in the past, and there's this woman and a kid, they get kidnapped, and the kid sees all this shit happening. So now, flash forward 10 years later, and we're in the middle of this, like, about to go down bank heist, and shit happens in there, and they escape, and then they're going off into this house that's, supposed to be nobody's out there, secluded and all that kind of stuff. And they go out there, and they one guy ended up kidnapping a mother and a daughter, and stealing their van, and they go out to the house. So he has the thing there, and the girl gets away, and he doesn't realize that somewhere on grounds is the killer yet, who was gone missing until now. And so now they don't know about him yet. The other group of people didn't get there yet, so they're going to discover about the killer being around and all that. So they basically got to survive and try to get away from the killer, while also trying to stay away from the police and all that stuff. So it's a wild ride like that. So this was surprising to me. This came out in 2004, and I never heard of it before. I heard of him recently because there's a trilogy. I believe the way Steve Mena wrote these, I think, don't quote me, I think this is technically a middle one, and then the second one is supposed to be the first one, and then the third one is the third one. I think that's how it was. I don't quote me on that, but I only watched this one so far. I still have the second and the third one to watch, which they have on here, like, don't miss the other two. But yeah, I would like to have seen this on VHS, to be honest. I've never heard of it, never seen it before now, and it wasn't bad. I did like it. I didn't think it was great, It's very copying of, like, especially the look. You could tell right there on the cover. Looks like Town of Dread Sundown. Kind of reminds you of that. Like Jason, any kind of slasher, like where they chase after them. It's like that. It's nothing new, especially 2004. But I did like it. I did like the movie. I wasn't bored with it or anything. I thought it was pretty decent. I don't like to say that I figured out things, ahead of time, that, like, or at least, like, this is what I think is going to happen. But this is another one where I kind of figured how the ending was going to be. And now, of course, there is other movies. So the killer lives. At least I guess it's the same killer, because I haven't seen the second or third one yet. But I'm assuming it's the same guy. So that's not like a spoiler, because I just said there are sequels. So I can't say, hey, Friday the 13th Part 2, Jason dies at the end, but there's a Friday the 13th Part 3 and 4 or 5. So it's like, if there's sequels, you kind of figure there is, the killer is still alive. Unless, of course, it's Scream and it's other people, but, oops. But, yeah, like I said, I liked it. Looked good, sounded good. Again, I'd like to see this on VHS. I think grittiness to this would look cool. Watching this, too, they were, like, running through this, like, factory kind of place, and I can't help but think when I see something like that, like, at one point in time, that was, like, a very vibrant and alive kind of place. People had jobs there. It's probably like a small town, everybody worked there kind of thing. And now it's just abandoned. Things are still in there. There's even, like, old time cars abandoned around the building, like just left there for time to take them away. And I just think, like, how sad that kind of is. That's what I think about when watching this movie. Not like this little girl getting chased by a guy or something like that, or the killer going after somebody. I think, man, that place really went to shit. Imagine how nice it probably was. Like, weird shit that, I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if anybody else does that. Do you do that? you think like, wow, look at that place, you know. But that's what I was thinking while watching this. And like also the way shit was in the house, how could they not have thought that somebody wasn't living there? Like the way things were, like surrounding in the house, it was obvious that somebody had to be in there. Not like they like left pizza boxes around or anything, but like you could just tell somebody lived there, you know. But I don't know. I guess they're just stupid. That's why things happen to them. But yeah, let me show you what's in here. And here you have a slip cover. You pull it off. It's the same thing underneath on this side. You know, same thing on this as on the back of that as on this. Since there's too much of a glare, I'll just read the special features. You have the new high-def 35mm transfer, supervised by the director and cinematographer. I can't even say his name. I'm going to try it. There's a still gallery, audio commentary, trailers, TV, radio spots, Leatherface speaks, rehearsal footage, featurettes, Back to the Slaughterhouse, The Dark Side of Horror, and Samantha Dark, deleted scenes. There's a lot of stuff on here. You know, like how they go back to the setting, to the scenes and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff on here, you know, special feature-wise. Now this is the Blu-ray DVD combo pack. So you have the DVD here and the Blu-ray here. Does not say what region they are. I'm going to say they're region A, but don't quote me on that. If I find out, I'll put it below where you could check it out, and you know, it'll let you know what they are. But the movie is 89 minutes long, and that's that. One thing I would like to have seen with this is a reversible sleeve. I think it would have been cool instead of like it's always like the same image. But it is pretty cool that they have a different image on the Blu-ray and the DVD. Like it's not the same on both. That's fine if they do that. You know, I'm glad there's at least an image, and it's cool that they're, like I said, that there's two different ones. Still plain though, to be honest. But you know, and I don't know the region of these. I'm looking around and I didn't see it. But like I said, if I find out, I'll put it on the screen or I'll put it in the description box. But yeah, Malevolence, glad I got to see it. I've been wanting to for a while, and I'm looking forward to seeing the second and the third one. So yeah, that's Malevolence. And last I have here from ITN Distribution, this is directed by Joseph P. Kelly, and that's Clown Motel. This is on DVD here, and what this is about, it's about these group of ghost hunters and that, and they're coming back from their recent adventure or hunt at this like ghost town kind of thing, and they stop at this clown motel, and there's another group of girls who are coming from a bachelorette party from Las Vegas, and they stop at the clown motel as well because they can't seem to get off of this road. So they're at the clown motel and they party and everything, and then after they wake up in the morning, things start to turn very strange, and they start to see clowns and shit like that. And the whole story behind the clowns is they're a community of clowns who like kind of like are off the grid, and they want to be away from people, you know, because people don't understand them. They get called freaks and all that. So they have this community where they can like be themselves, not have to worry about what anybody thinks because everybody there is a clown, and you don't have to worry about any of that shit. And there's even a little girl in it who says like she's never been outside of these walls before, but you know, she doesn't want to because she doesn't want to be called a freak and, you know, be looked at differently. So what happens is it's like this gangster kind of thing going on. This guy owes him money, so he knows about the clowns, and there's like these mines around there, and there's gold in them, so the clowns have this gold. So the guy they end up burning the clowns, the hotel and that. They end up burning it down and killing everybody inside. So now, like I said, flash forward, you got the ghost hunters and the bachelor party and that, and they're in this hotel, and they don't realize that all the ghosts, or the clowns, are actually ghosts, and they start doing horrific things to, you know, them one by one. And you know, I gotta say, I did enjoy this movie. I did like it. I'm not afraid of clowns. The one thing with this movie, though, I wish that, because when the clowns are like in the town and that, you know, whatever, they look like clowns, like, you know, the outfits and the paint and all that stuff. I wish when they came back from the dead that they looked more gruesome looking. You know, like maybe bloody or burnt up since they were burned in a fire. Stuff like that, but they just kind of looked the same as they did in the very beginning of the movie. that would have been really cool to see, like them like look even more scarier and grotesque and that kind of shit. But there's no like supernatural kind of shit except for them themselves, but which is fine because they you know do practical shit like beating somebody to death, like bludgeoning them, axes, like not an axe, a hatchet, you know, doing that kind of stuff. It's cool that they didn't do any supernatural kind of shit because it's like if that's in a movie, it's like how does it's fine, but how do you really fight that, you know? And then you had chances are my favorite character gets killed right off because it's like some stupid shit that happens to them. But that didn't happen in this. That's not what happened. My favorite character did get killed very early on, which sucked. Ari Lehman, I'm not sure how you say it. I think it's Ari Lehman, who was the first Jason. Technically really was the first Jason, the one who pops out of the water at the end of the first movie. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it by now, seriously. But yeah, he's in this, and he's like kind of like the main clown. He's pretty cool. He's the main clown, but it seems like everybody's the main clown in a way. You know, there's like whenever somebody gets killed, there's like this shop, and there's all these weird clown dolls, and whenever somebody got killed, the clown doll disappeared. So, and that's how the clowns will be able to come back. So there's like the cemetery that's in the background, and the reason clowns are coming back is because these aren't the first people that have stopped here before. So I think it would be cool too if they made like a prequel to this. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, I don't know, but it would be cool to see like the first time they came back. So I don't know, but yeah, there's Ari Lehman's in this. Another familiar face, I can't think of his name, but he was in like Pirates of the Caribbean movies and that. He was pretty cool looking. He was kind of scary. They're all kind of scary looking, but some of them just kind of look like not too scary looking. Hammy was another one that was like very disturbing, very disturbing clown. But again, nobody's judging them there. And there's a reason they call him Hammy, and I'm not gonna tell you why. I didn't know what. I'm not gonna say anything. His name is Hammy, and he was funny. But yeah, I do this too. There was one part where you can see, like, because this clown motel, like, it really does exist, but they make it look like it's in the middle of nowhere, like secluded, nothing else is around. And they did an excellent job of hiding shit. But there was one really, really quick where you could see like houses or something in the background, like in the distance over here. But it was like super fast, and it's the only time I actually noticed it. But then when you see like the behind the scenes, it's like on a different angle, and you could see that there is other things over here. That's like I don't know, it's like a street or houses or buildings or something. There was something else, and they really made it feel like this. It's like desert. The clown motel's in it. They did a really great job of hiding everything, the angles and how they, you know, everything that they did. So I applaud them for that. That was really, really good. Because I'm thinking about that, like, is this in the middle of nowhere? Is it like secluded? You know what? Because you know, I didn't think it was, but they did a really excellent job with that. I was impressed with that. Gore-wise, not too bad. There was one kill that was like off camera, and I sometimes really hate that. You don't even see him getting killed. You just see them standing there, and they come back, and then like they're dead. It's like you don't even see how it happened. Like you see how it happened, but you don't see it happening. So I kind of don't like that kind of stuff. The ending wasn't bad either. I was a little confused. I think I get it. I don't want to say obviously what I think it is, like what exactly happened, because I don't want to spoil anything. But it's kind of a strange ending. The very ending, I don't know. But yeah, it was a decent watch. I enjoyed it, and I would watch this again, to be honest. Clown Motel. I had a good time, and all the characters are pretty likable except for the one girl who's a bitch. Well, there's two girls who are kind of bitchy, but one of them is just a miserable fuck, and you know, she's just like her character was such an asshole, and I didn't like her at all. She's the one who was wearing the wig. She little over the top. She was her character, not the person playing, character was a complete asshole. So she did a good job playing her then, because I guess that's what she was supposed to be, a bitch from a bachelor party, and she played it off well. But yeah, Clown Motel, I'd say check this one out. And here's the slip cover here. You pull it off, same imagery on the back and on here, except on the back of here it has, what the bonus features are. And there's deleted scenes, blooper reel, hamming it up with Hammy, outtakes and flubbed lines, and a music video. And there's the band in it that plays in it is Beauty in the Suffering, I think they're called. Something like that, and they're very heavy, and it makes me, I want to check out more of their stuff. They're pretty heavy music. I want to check them out because I enjoyed the music that was in here. And you open up and there's the DVD with the same image on it. I like that. It doesn't say what the region is, so again, if I find out, I'll put it below and let everybody know. But there it is. So yeah, Clown Motel, I liked it. Captions worked. There was captions with this. Picture looked fine. Again, this is probably one too I would like to see gritty, like a VHS release of this. I don't know, I think it would look pretty cool. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and like I said, those little things I would want to see more, more horrific clowns, decaying, deadish looking, not zombie, but like, burnt up, stuff like that. Maybe like skin hanging off, stuff like that. I think it would be a lot cooler than they just came back and they look the same. But I understand time and money, and I believe this, it doesn't say it, but I believe they were raising money for this. I don't know, I remember them making this movie. I don't know if it was a fundraiser I saw that they were having this, or I just saw that this was getting made somehow, but I remember when this was getting made, and I was like, oh, that sounds like a cool idea. I'd like to see it. And for the life of me, I can't remember where the hell I heard about this before. But I'm glad I finally got to see it, Clown Motel. This is available in Walmart as well. It's like $10. It's very cheap. It's on DVD. I don't know if it's on Blu-ray, but looked good on DVD to me. And I like VHS. I like Blu-ray. I like, I'm not a huge fan of DVD, to be honest, unless that's all it's on. But it was on DVD, and I'm fine with that. It looked good to me, sounded good, and good story. I enjoyed it, and everybody looked like they had a good time making it. So yeah, I'd say check this out if you're not afraid of clowns, and if you are, get the fuck over it and see this movie. So that's Clown Motel. Well, that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and follow me on any one of the social media links in the description box below. I will put trailers for the movies that I can find trailers for down there. But like I always say, proceed with caution. The trailer might have spoilers. Well, that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.